The emergency sirens wailed across Colony Teguk. Red lights flashed in every corridor. Captain Jisoo Kim ran through the crowded hallway, pushing past panicked civilians. Her dark hair was tied back in a tight ponytail, her mechanic's uniform, stained with oil and grease. "Move! Emergency personnel!" she shouted, showing her badge to clear a path. The orbital defense station had gone silent 20 minutes ago. The void-borne ships had broken through. After 5 years of peace, they were back, and this time they had come with an armada. Jisoo reached the command center out of breath. Colonel Tae-won stood before a large display showing the colony's defenses. His face was grim. "Kim, good. We need all War Titans deployed immediately," he said, not looking away from the screen. "What's our status?" Jisoo asked, stepping closer to view the display. "Bad. Very bad. 6 void-borne carrier ships. They're dropping ground forces on the eastern perimeter. We have 30 minutes, maybe less, before they reach the civilian sectors." Jisoo nodded. As head mechanic for the colony's War Titan battalion, she knew what this meant. The 30-meter-tall mechanized combat units were their only real defense against the void-borne ground forces. Without them, the colony would fall within hours. "I'll get to the bay and prep the units," she said. The colonel grabbed her arm. "No time for prep. The pilots are suiting up now. Get those machines moving, whatever it takes." Jisoo ran to the War Titan deployment bay. The massive hangar housed 12 of the towering machines. Each stood silent, like sleeping giants of metal and composite armor. Technicians scrambled around their feet, running last-minute checks. Jisoo headed straight for Bay 7, where her assigned War Titan stood. Designation: Fury. For 3 years, she had maintained this machine, knew every wire, every hydraulic line, every quirk in its systems. The massive humanoid frame gleamed under the hangar lights, its dark metal surface etched with battle scars from previous deployments. "Where's Lieutenant Park?" she called to a nearby tech. The young man shook his head. "No idea. He hasn't reported," and Jisoo cursed under her breath. Daeho Park was Fury's pilot, one of the best. Each War Titan required a neural link with its pilot to operate at full capacity. Without Park, Fury would remain in the hangar while the colony burned. She checked her tablet. The enemy dropships had already landed. The first wave of Voidborn, insectoid creatures with razor-sharp appendages and exoskeletons like black glass, had engaged the perimeter guards. Reports showed heavy casualties. Jisoo made a decision. She climbed the access ladder to Fury's cockpit, ignoring the shouts from the deck supervisor. "Kim, what are you doing? You're not authorized to pilot." She slipped into the cramped cockpit and sealed the hatch behind her. The neural link helmet hung above the pilot's chair, its delicate sensors glinting in the dim light. Mechanics were strictly forbidden from using the neural interface. The mental strain could cause permanent brain damage to anyone without proper pilot training and genetic compatibility. Jisoo didn't care. Without Fury, more people would die. She sat in the chair and pulled the helmet down over her head. The cold metal pressed against her temples. She activated the startup sequence and braced herself for pain. It came like fire. The neural link blazed through her mind as Fury's systems connected with her brain. She screamed, her body arching against the restraints. Black spots danced in her vision. This was why only trained pilots with specific genetic markers were allowed to interface with War Titans. The mental load could kill an unprepared mind. But something strange happened. As the pain reached its peak, it suddenly receded. The chaotic flood of data organized itself in her mind. She could feel Fury around her, not just the mechanical systems, but something deeper, like a presence. The War Titan moved. One massive hand lifted, matching Jisoo's own movement inside the cockpit. She gasped. The response was instant. No lag like the pilots described. It felt like Fury was an extension of her own body. "This isn't right," she whispered to herself. The technical manuals described a 3-second delay for new neural links to establish. Pilots trained for months to compensate for this lag. There was no time to worry about it now. The hangar doors were opening, revealing the chaos outside. Smoke rose from the eastern sectors. Gunfire echoed across the colony's main plaza. Jisoo moved Fury forward, each 30-ton step shaking the ground. The War Titan's external speakers activated automatically. This is War Titan Fury moving to Eastern Defense Sector. Civilians clear the route. People scattered as the massive machine marched through the colony streets. Through Fury's enhanced visual systems, Jisoo could see the fighting at the perimeter. The colony guards were overwhelmed. Hundreds of Voidborn skittered over the barriers, their black bodies glistening under the colony's artificial sunlight. "Give me weapons control," Jisoo said, and the system responded immediately. A menu appeared in her mind, not on a display, but as if the information had always been there in her thoughts. She selected the pulse cannons. Fury's arms transformed, panels sliding back to reveal massive energy weapons. Jisoo took aim at the largest concentration of Voidborn. "Firing," she said, and felt something unexpected. Eagerness not from herself, but from Fury. The War Titan wanted this fight. The pulse cannons discharged, sending blue energy streaking toward the enemy. Voidborn exploded into black fragments. Jisoo moved Fury forward, each step more confident than the last. The neural link grew stronger. She could feel the ground through Fury's feet, the air resistance against its armor. More War Titans emerged from the hangar behind her, moving to different sectors. None moved with Fury's speed and grace. Through the command channel, Jisoo heard other pilots struggling with their neural connections. "Kim, is that you and Fury?" It was Colonel Taewan's voice over the comm. "What the hell are you doing?" "Lieutenant, Park didn't show. Someone had to take Fury out," she replied, crushing 3 Voidborn with a sweeping blow from Fury's arm. "Get back to the hangar now. You're not authorized for neural link." Jisoo ignored the order. She pushed Fury forward, deeper into the fight. The War Titan responded with impossible precision, anticipating her commands before she fully formed them. As she fought, she began to feel something beyond the neural link. Emotions that weren't her own. Fury's rage at the Voidborn, its satisfaction as they fell, its fierce protectiveness of the colony. War Titans weren't supposed to have emotions. They were machines, tools. But as Jisoo synchronized deeper with Fury, she couldn't deny what she felt. This machine had a consciousness, one that was merging with her own. A massive Voidborn, twice the size of the others, climbed over the perimeter wall. It locked its compound eyes on Fury and charged. Jisoo braced for impact, and Fury moved with her, catching the creature in mid-leap. The Voidborn's claws scraped against Fury's armor, leaving deep grooves in the metal. Jisoo felt the damage as if it were being carved into her own skin. She cried out, then forced Fury's hands to close around the creature's neck. With a twist of metal fingers, she ended its life. More Voidborn poured over the walls. The battle had just begun, but Jisoo knew something fundamental had changed. The bond between her and Fury was something new, something unexplained by the technical specifications. As night fell over Colony Taeguk, Jisoo stood at the breach point, Fury's massive frame silhouetted against fires burning in the distance. The first wave was defeated, but the Voidborn ship still hung in orbit, dark shapes against the stars. Tomorrow would bring more fighting, more death. But now, as Jisoo felt Fury's consciousness intertwined with her own, she knew they would face it together. Not as pilot and machine, but as something new, something powerful, something that made her wonder what Fury really was, and what other secrets the War Titans might hold. 3 days had passed since the Voidborn attack began. Colony Taeguk was in a state of emergency. The eastern sectors had fallen, and thousands of civilians were crowded into the remaining safe zones. Defense forces worked around the clock to hold the line. Jisoo Kim had not left Fury's cockpit for more than a few hours at a time. Her name was now spoken with awe throughout the colony. Without proper training, she had become the most effective War Titan pilot in the defense force. "You need to rest," said Hanbin Lee, standing beside the massive foot of Fury. Hanbin had been Jisoo's friend since childhood. Now, as the colony's lead doctor, he worried about what the neural link was doing to her brain. Jisoo climbed down from the access ladder, her movements slow and stiff. Dark circles shadowed her eyes. When she removed her helmet, blood trickled from her nose. "I'm fine," she said, wiping the blood away. "Just tired." Hanbin pulled out a small scanner and passed it over her head. "Your brain activity is off the charts. No one has maintained a neural link this deep for this long." Jisoo leaned against Fury's leg. The metal felt warm to her touch, almost alive. "I can feel Fury all the time now, even when I'm disconnected. Is that normal?" "No," Hanbin said, checking the scanner results. "Not at all. The link is changing your brain chemistry. If you don't take a real break, you might suffer permanent damage." Jisoo closed her eyes. She could still feel Fury's presence. In her mind, like a loyal animal waiting for her return, the War Titan had saved her life multiple times during the battles of the past 3 days. It moved faster than she could think, as if it knew her intentions before she did. "I can't stop now," she said. "The Voidborn are massing for another attack. Colonel Taewon says they're bringing in something big." Hanbin was about to argue when the emergency sirens began to wail. His medical tablet pinged with urgent messages. "They're attacking the agricultural sector," he said, reading the alert. "Hundreds of civilians are trapped." Jisoo immediately turned back to Fury. "I have to go." Hanbin grabbed her arm. "At least let me give you something for the pain." He pressed an injector against her neck. Cool medicine flowed into her veins, dulling the throbbing in her head. Jisoo nodded her thanks and climbed back up to the cockpit. The moment the neural link helmet connected, she was fully bonded with Fury. The pain was still there, but now it felt distant, unimportant. What mattered was the mission. Fury, deploy. "To agricultural sector," she said, and the War Titan responded, its massive body moving with grace that defied its size. As Fury marched through the colony streets, Jisoo received the tactical update. The Voidborn had breached the outer defenses of the agricultural domes. Workers were trapped inside, but the update also mentioned something new. A large unknown Voidborn unit leading the attack. "Be careful," Colonel Taewon's voice crackled over the comm. "Intelligence says this thing is twice the size of any Voidborn we've encountered. They're calling it Behemoth." Jisoo pushed Fury to a run, each step covering ground that would take a human 30 paces. Through the War Titan's enhanced vision, she could see the agricultural domes ahead. The transparent structures were designed to grow food for the colony, but now they were battlegrounds. One dome had been breached. Black Voidborn shapes swarmed inside. But what caught Jisoo's attention was the massive figure tearing through the metal support beams. A Voidborn unlike any she had seen before. It stood as tall as Fury, with 4 thick legs supporting a bulky body. Its head was larger than the other Voidborn, with multiple sets of compound eyes that glowed with eerie blue light. As Jisoo watched, it seemed to direct the smaller Voidborn with purpose, pointing with its front limbs toward specific targets. "Target identified," Jisoo said. "Engaging Behemoth." She pushed Fury forward, activating the pulse cannons. Blue energy streaked toward the massive Voidborn, hitting its armored hide. The creature turned, all of its eyes focusing on Fury. To Jisoo's surprise, the Behemoth made a sound, a deep, resonating call that echoed across the battlefield. The smaller Voidborn immediately changed direction, moving to protect their leader. "It's controlling them," Jisoo realized. Fury switched to Bled mode. Panels shifted on Fury's arms, the pulse cannons retracting as enormous energy blades extended from its wrists. Jisoo charged forward, cutting through the smaller Voidborn with sweeping strikes. The Behemoth watched, its head tilting in what looked like curiosity. It made another sound, and the remaining Voidborn fell back, creating space around it and... "Fury, is it challenging us?" Jisoo wondered. In response, she felt something new from Fury, recognition. The War Titan knew this creature, or at least its kind. Jisoo tried to access the memory, but it was buried deep, hidden behind code she couldn't break. The Behemoth charged. Despite its size, it moved with surprising speed, all 4 legs propelling it forward. It slammed into Fury with enough force to push the War Titan back several meters. Jisoo felt the impact through the neural link. Pain flared across her chest. She gasped, then forced Fury to stand firm. The battle that followed was unlike anything the colony had seen. Fury moved with impossible precision, its systems responding to Jisu's thoughts before she could form them into commands. She executed fighting moves that weren't in any training manual, as if the War Titan itself was guiding her. The behemoth was a formidable opponent. Its armored hide deflected most of Fury's attacks. It fought with intelligence, adapting to Fury's patterns and countering with strategies of its own. "This isn't a mindless drone," Jisu said into her comm. "This thing thinks." During a brief pause in the fight, Jisu activated Fury's deepest weapon systems, options she had discovered but never used, hidden behind military overrides. The War Titan's chest opened, revealing a glowing core of energy. "What are you doing?" Colonel Tae-wan demanded over the comm. "Those systems are locked." Jisu ignored him. She directed the energy outward, focusing it on the behemoth. A beam of intense light struck the creature, burning through its armor. The behemoth made a sound that froze Jisu's blood, a wail of pain that sounded almost human. It staggered back, blue fluid leaking from its wound. For a moment, Jisu's connection with Fury seemed to expand, touching something else. She caught a glimpse of another consciousness, fear, pain, and something else. Purpose. The behemoth wasn't just fighting for destruction. It was fighting for something it believed, and the wounded creature retreated, calling to its smaller kin. The Voidborn swarm surrounded it, protecting their leader as they fell back toward the colony's edge. Jisu wanted to pursue, but a sudden, crushing pain filled her head. The extended neural link was taking its toll. Blood poured from her nose and ears, her vision blurred. "Jisu!" Hanbin's voice came through the comm. "Your vitals are crashing. Disconnect now." She tried to respond, but no words came. The last thing she saw before losing consciousness was the behemoth turning to look back at Fury. In that moment, through the fading neural link, she felt something impossible. The creature recognized the War Titan, not as an enemy but as something else, something lost. Jisu collapsed inside Fury's cockpit. The War Titan, sensing its pilot's distress, returned to base on its own, carrying her safely home. As medical teams rushed to extract her from the cockpit, no one noticed that Fury's systems were still active, its sensors focused on the distant horizon where the behemoth had disappeared. No one heard the low, mournful sound that came from the War Titan's core, a sound that echoed the behemoth's call, like a response to a long-forgotten question. Jisu opened her eyes to the harsh white lights of the medical bay. Her head throbbed with dull pain. She tried to sit up, but a gentle hand pushed her back down. "Stay still," Hanbin said, checking the monitors beside her bed. "You've been unconscious for nearly 2 days." Jisu blinked, trying to clear her vision. 2 days? What happened with the behemoth? The agricultural sector? "We held the line. Other War Titans took over after you collapsed." Hanbin's face was serious. "Jisu, we need to talk about what's happening to you. Your brain scans show changes I can't explain." But Jisu wasn't listening. Her mind reached out, searching for the familiar presence of Fury. Even here, far from the hangar, she could feel the War Titan, its systems idle but aware, waiting for her return. "I can still feel it," she whispered. "Fury is worried about." Hanbin sat on the edge of her bed. "That's not possible. War Titans don't have emotions, they're machines." "No." Jisu shook her head. "There's more to them. I've seen Fury's memories when we're connected. Fragments, images that don't make sense." She tried again to sit up, and this time Hanbin helped her. The room spun briefly, then steadied. "Fury wasn't built by humans," she said quietly. "None of the War Titans were." Hanbin's eyes widened. "What are you talking about?" "I've seen it through the neural link. We found them, reverse-engineered them." She grabbed Hanbin's arm. "You have access to the military medical database. Check the original War Titan research files." Hanbin looked doubtful, but pulled out his tablet. "The files would be classified. Use my override. Captain's access." Jisoo gave him her code. Hanbin's fingers moved across the screen. Minutes passed in silence as he read, his expression changing from doubt to shock. "This can't be right," he said finally. According to these records, the first war titan was A, found in a crashed void-born ship 70 years ago. It was alive. The neural interface wasn't created for humans to control machines. It was designed to suppress the war titan's original consciousness. Jisoo nodded slowly. "We enslaved them, turned them into weapons against their own kind." The emergency alarm blared before Hanbin could respond. The lights in the medical bay turned red. "Void-born forces are attacking the power core," a voice announced over the colony speakers. "All defense personnel to battle stations." Jisoo swung her legs over the side of the bed. "I need to get to Fury." "You're in no condition to fight," Hanbin protested. "Your brain is already showing signs of permanent alteration from the neural link." "I don't care." Jisoo stood, fighting the dizziness that threatened to overwhelm her. "Fury needs me. The colony needs us." She staggered to the door, using the wall for support. Hanbin followed, still arguing, but Jisoo ignored him. With each step toward the hangar, her connection with Fury grew stronger. The War Titan was calling to her, its consciousness reaching for hers. When Jisoo entered the hangar, technicians were preparing the War Titans for battle. She walked directly to Fury, ignoring the shouts from the deck supervisor. "Captain Kim, you're not cleared for duty." Jisoo placed her hand on Fury's massive foot. The metal was warm, vibrating with energy. The connection between them had changed. She no longer needed the neural link helmet to feel Fury's presence. "It's okay," she said, looking up at the towering machine. "I understand now." The access ladder extended automatically as she approached. Jisoo climbed into the cockpit and settled into the pilot's chair. The neural link helmet descended, but before it touched her head, she heard Colonel Taewon's voice over the comm. "Kim, don't you dare connect to that machine. That's an order." "Sorry, Colonel," Jisoo replied. "But I think Fury has been waiting 70 years for someone who can hear it. I'm not going to make it wait any longer." The helmet connected, and this time there was no pain. The neural handshake was instant. Fury's consciousness flowing into Jisoo's mind like water. Images flashed before her, not of battles or tactics, but of stars, of vast ships traveling between worlds, of creatures like the behemoth living alongside, machines that looked like war titans. Jisoo understood. The Voidborn weren't invaders. The insectoid forms and the mechanical titans were two halves of one species, a symbiotic relationship that humans had violently severed. "They're not attacking," Jisoo whispered. "They're trying to rescue their family." Fury moved without Jisoo's command, walking toward the hangar doors. The other war titans were already outside, engaging the Voidborn forces that had breached the inner perimeter. The power core was under heavy attack. As Fury stepped into battle, Jisoo felt something new. The War Titan wasn't just responding to her thoughts, it was sharing its own. Not in words, but in feelings, in memories, in knowledge of the Voidborn that no human possessed. "Show me how to end this," Jisoo said. "Show me how to stop the killing." "Through their joined consciousness," Fury replied. Jisoo saw the behemoth not as an enemy, but as Fury's kin. Its genetic template, a biological counterpart to the mechanical form. The two were meant to be paired, sharing one mind across two bodies. When humans captured the War Titans, they broke these pairs. The neural suppression technology kept the machines docile, wiping away their memories of their biological partners. The Voidborn had been fighting for decades to recover their severed halves. Jisoo directed Fury toward the center of the battle, where the behemoth was leading the Voidborn attack on the power core. The massive creature turned as they approached, its compound eyes glowing with recognition. "Hold fire," Jisoo ordered through the colony's comm system. "Don't shoot the behemoth." "Have you lost your mind, Kim?" Colonel Taewon shouted back. "That thing is their command unit." "It's more than that," Jisoo replied, "and I can prove it." She brought Fury to a halt 30 meters from the behemoth. The space between them cleared. as both Voidborn and human forces held back, watching the standoff. Jisoo opened a direct channel to Fury's external systems. What came next wasn't her voice, but a series of sounds generated by the War Titan itself. Clicks, hums, and resonant tones that matched the vocalizations she had heard from the behemoth. The behemoth went still. Then slowly, it responded with similar sounds. The smaller Voidborn around it stopped attacking, their attention fixed on the unexpected communication. Through their neural link, Jisoo felt Fury's emotions, hope, recognition, and a deep longing for connection. The War Titan was speaking to its kin in their native language, breaking through decades of forced silence. "They're talking," Jisoo said over the colony comm. "The War Titans and the Voidborn, they're the same species. We've been forcing the War Titans to kill their own family." Before Colonel Taewon could respond, the behemoth made a series of rapid sounds. The Voidborn forces immediately began to retreat from the power core. "What's happening?" Hanbin's voice came through on a private channel. "I think..." Jisoo paused, feeling the emotions flowing through her connection with Fury. "I think we just negotiated a ceasefire." The behemoth approached Fury slowly, its massive form moving with deliberate care. Up close, Jisoo could see the similarities between them, the way they moved, the structure of their limbs, the purpose behind their design. Through Fury, she felt the behemoth's consciousness brush against her own. Curious, cautious, but without hostility. It recognized that Jisoo and Fury had become something new, a human-machine bond that echoed the Voidborn's natural symbiosis. "They don't want war," Jisoo said. "They never did. They just want their family back." As the sun set over Colony Taeguk, a bizarre scene unfolded. The behemoth stood face to face with Fury, their forms silhouetted against the darkening sky. Around them, humans and Voidborn maintained an uneasy distance, weapons ready but unused. Inside Fury's cockpit, Jisoo made a decision that would change the course of the war. The truth had to be shared, no matter the cost to herself or her career. "Hanbin," she said through the private channel, "I need you to broadcast everything we've found, the real history of the War Titans, the truth about the Voidborn. Everyone needs to know what we've been doing. If I do that, they'll arrest us both for treason," Hanbin replied. Jisoo looked out at the behemoth, at the Voidborn forces waiting for their command, at 70 years of needless war built on a foundation of slavery and lies. "Some truths are worth the price," she said. "Do it." Alarms wailed throughout Colony Taeguk as Jisoo guided Fury away from the settlement. The colony's remaining War Titans had been ordered to pursue her. Colonel Taewon's voice blared over all communication channels. "Captain Kim has stolen military property and compromised colony security. She is to be considered a traitor. The War Titan must be recovered at all costs." Jisoo ignored the transmissions. Through her neural connection with Fury, she could feel the War Titan's determination matching her own. They needed answers, and they wouldn't find them in the colony. The behemoth followed at a distance, visible only through Fury's enhanced sensors. After the brief communication in the battlefield, the massive Voidborn creature had retreated with its forces, but hadn't returned to their ships. Instead, it seemed to be watching, waiting to see what Jisoo and Fury would do. "We need somewhere to hide," Jisoo said. "Somewhere to think." Through their shared consciousness, Fury provided an answer. Images of an abandoned research outpost flickered in Jisoo's mind. Located in the radioactive wastelands 20 kilometers north of the colony, it had been one of the first human settlements on the planet. According to colony records, it had been abandoned due to radiation leaks. But Fury's memories showed something different. "They studied you there," Jisoo whispered as the images became clearer. The first War Titan. Fury increased its pace, massive legs covering ground with astonishing speed. The outpost appeared on the horizon as the sun began to rise, a cluster of dome-shaped buildings half buried in red sand. Warning signs marked the perimeter, their faded text warning of radiation danger. Jisoo knew the warnings were false. The outpost had been abandoned and marked as dangerous to keep people away from the truth. As they approached, Fury seemed to grow more agitated. Memories flowed faster through their connection, fragments of pain, confusion, and fear. This place held dark significance for the War Titan. "It's okay," Jisoo said. "We're here to uncover the truth, not relive the pain." The largest building had a reinforced door built to accommodate War Titan-sized machinery. Fury broke the rusted locks with one powerful hand and they entered a vast, dark chamber. Emergency power still functioned, triggered by their movement. Dim lights revealed a laboratory filled with dusty equipment. Jisoo disengaged from the pilot seat but maintained the neural link as she explored. The connection had evolved to the point where physical proximity was enough to keep them joined. She could move independently while still sharing Fury's thoughts and senses. The laboratory contained workstations with ancient computers. Jisoo activated one, surprised to find it still operational. The database was extensive, containing research. Logs dating back 70 years. Project Titan, she read aloud. Subject acquired from void-borne vessel crash site. Biological components minimized. Mechanical systems enhanced for weapon capability. The files contained videos. Jisoo played the first one. The footage showed a creature similar to Fury but more organic, held in restraints as scientists examined it. The being struggled weakly, making sounds that matched the communication patterns of the behemoth. "They tortured you," Jisoo said, feeling Fury's anguish at the images. "Stripped away your biological components and reprogrammed what was left." More videos revealed the truth about the Voidborn. They weren't a single species but a symbiotic pair. The insectoid drones and the mechanical titans formed a collective consciousness. Each drone could link with a titan, creating a singular being with shared awareness. When humans captured and reprogrammed the first titan, they effectively lobotomized a sentient being. The neural suppression technology they developed kept the War Titans docile by erasing their memories and blocking their connection to their biological counterparts. The Voidborn never attacked us first, Jisoo realized. They came looking for their missing half. We fired on them, thinking they were invaders. She downloaded the files to a portable drive. The colony needed to know this truth, needed to understand that 70 years of war had been built on a terrible mistake. A noise at the entrance made Jisoo turn. She expected colony forces, but instead saw Hanbin entering the laboratory. "How did you find me?" she asked. "I put a medical tracker in your system when you were unconscious." Hanbin looked up at Fury with a mix of awe and fear. "I was worried about you." "Did you broadcast the files?" Hanbin nodded. "Some of them. Enough to cause chaos. Half the colony thinks you're a hero exposing a government conspiracy. The other half thinks you're a traitor who's lost her mind. And what do you think?" "I think you're right about the War Titans." Hanbin approached, showing her his tablet. "The neural suppressors are failing in all units. 2 other War Titans broke free and refused pilot commands after I broadcast the information." Jisoo wasn't surprised. Her connection with Fury had somehow weakened the suppression technology. As one War Titan became more aware, the effect spread to others through some unseen connection. A new alert appeared on Hanbin's tablet. "The colony has initiated emergency termination protocols for all War Titans. They'd rather destroy them than lose control." Jisoo felt Fury's alarm, not for itself but for the others still trapped in the hangar. Before she could respond, a powerful tremor shook the building. Dust fell from the ceiling as the ground continued to vibrate. "Something's coming," Hanbin said, looking at the tablet's sensor readings. "Something big." Jisoo already knew what it was. Through Fury, she had sensed the behemoth's approach. But the creature wasn't alone. 5 more like it had joined it, their massive forms surrounding the research outpost. "They followed us here," she said. Hanbin backed away from the entrance. "Are they going to attack?" "No." Jisoo walked toward the door, feeling Fury's consciousness guiding her. "They want to talk." Outside, the 6 behemoths formed a half circle, their compound eyes glowing in the dim morning light. The largest, the one Jisoo had faced in battle, stepped forward. Its armored hide still showed the damage from their previous encounter, blue fluid sealed beneath translucent scabs. Through Fury, Jisoo felt the creature's consciousness reaching out, not with hostility but with a careful, questioning touch. It recognized the change in Fury, The weakening of the human control systems. Jisoo stepped beyond the doorway, standing exposed before creatures that could crush her with a single step. She trusted the connection she felt through fury, the sense that these beings weren't enemies but something else. Victims seeking justice, family searching for lost kin. "We know the truth," she said, her voice steady despite her fear. "About what humans did to your kind. About what we turned your family into." The behemoth lowered its massive head, bringing its eyes level with Jisoo. It made a series of sounds, clicks and vibrations that Fury understood. Through their neural link, Jisoo understood too. Not words exactly, but concepts, emotions, intentions. The creatures called themselves guardians. The mechanical beings Jisoo knew as war titans were called sentinels. Together they formed the consciousness of the Voidborn collective. For 70 years they had tried to recover their stolen sentinels. Each failed attempt had driven them to more desperate measures, believing humans to be irredeemably cruel captors who refused all communication. "They think we're monsters," Jisoo told Hanbin, who stood frozen in the doorway. "And maybe they're right." The Guardian made another sound, and Jisoo felt its meaning through fury. A question, a choice. "They want to know if we'll release the other war titans," she said. "If we'll end this war." Before Hanbin could respond, the sound of approaching aircraft filled the air. Colony military ships appeared on the horizon, weapon systems active and locked on both Fury and the Guardians. Colonel Tae-wan's voice boomed from the lead ship's speakers. "Captain Kim, this is your final warning. Surrender the War Titan immediately. Jisoo." Looked up at Fury, then at the Guardians, then at the human ships prepared to kill them all. The moment of truth had arrived, and with it, a choice that would determine the future of both species. "No more lies," she said quietly. "No more slavery. No more war." She stepped forward, directly between the colony forces and the Guardians, a single human ready to stand against both sides to protect what she now knew was right. The morning sun cast long shadows across the wasteland as the colony ships hovered above the research outpost. Jisoo stood her ground between the human forces and the 6 massive Guardians, her connection with Fury giving her courage. "This ends today," she called out, her voice amplified by Fury's external speakers. "No more fighting, no more lies." Colonel Tae-wan's ship descended to the ground. The colonel emerged, flanked by armed soldiers. His face was hard with anger, and something else, fear. "You have no authority here, Kim," he said. "The War Titans are military property. The Voidborn are our enemies." "They have names," Jisoo replied. "The ones you call War Titans are sentinels. These," she gestured to the massive creatures behind her, "are guardians. Together, they form one species, and we've been tearing them apart for 70 years. Hanbin stepped forward holding up his tablet. "It's all here, Colonel. Research logs, experimental data. The first contact wasn't an attack. It was a crash. We captured their sentinels, reprogrammed them, turned them into weapons against their own kind. Those are classified military files," Tae-wan said, his face reddening. "Accessing them is treason. Hiding the truth is the real crime," Jisoo said. "These beings aren't mindless drones. They're a collective consciousness, a symbiotic species. The Guardians provide the biological functions. The Sentinels handle mechanical tasks and space travel. They're meant to be connected, just like Fury and I are connected now." As if responding to its name, Fury moved to stand beside Jisoo. The War Titan, no, the Sentinel, placed one massive hand on the ground beside her in a protective gesture. "Colonel." Tae-wan raised his hand and the soldiers lifted their weapons. "Step away from the machine, Captain. This is your final warning." "No," Jisoo said simply. "I won't let you continue this war based on lies." Before the colonel could give the order to fire, a new sound filled the air. More ships were approaching, civilian, transports from the colony. They landed at a safe distance and people began to emerge. Hundreds of colonists, led by doctors, engineers, and other officials. "What is the meaning of this?" Tae-wan demanded. A woman stepped forward from the crowd. Jisoo recognized her as the colony's civilian governor. "The files have been made public, Colonel," the governor said. "Everyone knows the truth now. We've come to witness the end of this war." Taewon's face paled. "You're all fools. These creatures have killed thousands of us." "After we enslaved and weaponized their family members," the governor replied. "The cycle of violence stops today." While the humans argued, Jisoo felt a change in Fury's consciousness. The Sentinel was communicating with the Guardians, sharing everything it had experienced through its connection with Jisoo. The largest Guardian, the one Jisoo had faced in battle, approached slowly. Hanbin stepped back in fear, but Jisoo held her position. Through Fury, she understood the Guardian's intentions. It wasn't threatening her. It was curious about the human who had freed a Sentinel's mind. The moment of understanding was shattered by the sound of weapons fire. One of Taewon's soldiers, panicked by the Guardian's approach, had fired a shot. The energy blast struck Fury in the chest, burning through its outer armor. Pain flooded Jisoo's mind as the damage transferred through their neural link. She cried out, falling to her knees. Fury staggered back, blue fluid leaking from the wound, the same fluid that had seeped from the injured Guardian days earlier. The Guardians moved into defensive positions, ready to attack. The colonial soldiers raised their weapons. In seconds, the fragile peace would shatter into renewed war. "Stop!" Jisoo screamed, forcing herself to her feet despite the pain that radiated through her chest. "Everyone, stand down!" To her surprise, they listened. The Guardians halted their advance. The soldiers lowered their weapons, looking to Colonel Taewon for guidance. The colonel himself seemed frozen, unsure what to do next. Fury was still standing, but its systems were failing. Jisoo could feel the Sentinel's consciousness flickering like a dying flame. With a grinding of damaged mechanisms, Fury knelt on the ground, bringing its head down to Jisoo's level. Panels opened on the side of Fury's head, revealing what looked like a glowing crystal structure, the core of the Sentinel's consciousness. It was damaged, cracks spreading across its surface as blue fluid leaked around it. Jisoo understood what was happening. Fury was dying. The weapon had struck a critical system, one that even the Sentinel's advanced repair functions couldn't fix quickly enough. Without thinking, Jisoo placed her hands directly on the crystal, establishing physical contact with Fury's consciousness. Their neural link deepened beyond anything she had experienced before. She was no longer merely connected to Fury. She was part of it, and it was part of her. "Don't leave me," she whispered. "We've only just found each other." The Guardian approached, again moving with careful steps. It knelt beside Fury, bringing its massive head close to the damaged section. From deep within its body came a sound, a resonant hum that Jisoo felt rather than heard. The crystal under her hands vibrated in response. "What's happening?" Hanbin asked, approaching cautiously. "It's healing Fury," Jisoo said, understanding flowing through the neural link. "The Guardian is generating a frequency that stabilizes the crystal matrix." The blue fluid that leaked from Fury's wound began to glow brighter under the influence of the Guardian's hum. The cracks in the crystal slowed their spread. Jisoo's pain receded as Fury's systems began to stabilize. The colonists watched in silence as the enormous Guardian tended to the wounded Sentinel. The scene was unlike anything humans had witnessed in 70 years of war, one void-born caring for another, showing gentleness that defied all previous understanding of these beings. She held the beast as it bled, Hanbin said quietly, watching Jisoo with her hand still on Fury's exposed consciousness, the Guardian humming its healing frequency beside them. A war titan that wept like a dying dog in her hands. His words carried across the silent wasteland, giving voice to the moment that would change everything. Hours later, in the colony's main plaza, representatives from both species gathered. The remaining war titans, now properly called Sentinels, had been freed from their neural suppression. Some had immediately linked with the Guardians who had come seeking them. Others, like Fury, chose to maintain their connections with specific humans. Jisoo stood beside Fury, their bond now acknowledged and respected. Her neural link had evolved beyond the crude technology humans had designed, becoming something new, a true symbiosis that mirrored the natural connection between Guardians and Sentinels. "We offer peace," Jisoo said, speaking both for herself and for Fury. "A chance to end 70 years of war built on misunderstanding and fear." The colony governor stepped forward. "We accept and offer our deepest apologies for the harm we've caused your people." The lead Guardian made a series of sounds, which Jisoo translated through her link with Fury. "They accept our apology, but trust must be earned. They propose a joint settlement, a place where humans and Voidborn can learn to live together to understand each other." Colonel Taewon watched from the edge of the crowd, his face unreadable. Many military personnel shared his reservations, but they were outnumbered by colonists eager for peace. That evening, as the first stars appeared above Colony Taeguk, Jisoo sat alone on a hillside overlooking the settlement. Fury stood nearby, its massive form silhouetted against the darkening
sky.
The damage had been repaired, leaving only a faint scar on its chest plate. Hanbin joined her, carrying medical equipment to check her neural readings. "How do you feel?" he asked. "Different," Jisoo said, "but good. Complete." "The neural bond is permanent now," Hanbin said, looking at his readings. "I couldn't separate you from Fury even if I wanted to." Jisoo smiled. "I wouldn't want you to." In the valley below, humans and Guardians worked together to establish the new joint settlement. Former enemies learning to be neighbors, Sentinels, and Guardians reuniting after decades of forced separation. "What happens now?" Hanbin asked. Jisoo looked up at Fury, feeling the Sentinel's thoughts merge with her own, hope, curiosity, and a deep contentment at finally being understood. "Now," Jisoo said, "we learn from each other. We build something new." She placed her hand on Fury's massive finger, and the Sentinel gently curled it around her palm. They weren't human or Voidborn anymore. They were something else, a bridge between worlds that might finally bring an end to the stars' longest war. In that moment, under the light of unfamiliar stars, peace felt not just possible, but inevitable.